to Suits and Sneakers, a series featuring sage advice and candid conversations with seasoned leaders from diverse backgrounds and styles. I'm your host, Carrie Tuttle. With my guests, we deep dive into the areas of team engagement, motivation, and effective performance management. Get ready to be inspired and transform your approach to leadership. Please like, subscribe, or follow to be notified when episodes are released. Let's get started. Okay, today on Suits and Sneakers Leadership Unfiltered, I am bringing back my friend Michael Dargie, who is the founder of Make More Creative, as well as host of the Rebel podcast for entrepreneurs. So welcome to Suits and Sneakers, Michael.
I'm so glad to be back. Another crossover episode where I get to put you back in the hot seat and ask you all the tough questions.
I'm loving it.
I'm so stoked. Okay, so I'm gonna knock this one like right out of the park, right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
What is the number one topic on the minds of leaders today?
Well, no question, everybody in the press, in business, in conferences is talking about AI and the impact that it's having not only on how we work, but how our people work and our quality of output and speed, of course, because everybody's trying to use AI to work more efficiently.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let's add this to the pile. How are founders embracing it or in some cases resisting it?
Yeah. And I think it depends who you ask. I work with a lot of technical founders. So I would say in most cases, they're quite receptive and embracing it openly. In fact, one of the companies that I work with in cybersecurity has an entire resource, and it's a fairly small company. They have an entire resource dedicated to AI. So that I have seen. And I've seen large companies too, has dedicated resources for establishing AI practices, processes, sequencing, and also governance around AI. So yeah, they're embracing it. Where I see resistance, so I'll comment on that, is that there's sort of a resistance to having AI do too much. Right? Like it feels a little too personal. Things like blog posts, some people are open to it. Other people are like, no way. They don't want their brand represented by an automated and public resource. So yeah, I think it kind of runs the entire spectrum.
Okay, let me ask this then. How does AI help revenue teams? Like, let's get specific.
Yeah, because the majority of teams that I work with are in that revenue space. And so one thing I've done this myself. So one thing that I like to start with is idea generation. It's a very good resource for that, as well as creating templates for communication with clients and even processes around that. So what I always tell people who are sort of nervous about using AI, because a lot of people in sales and marketing are still definitely experimenting and they're not necessarily fully automating things, right? They're in that experimentation, early adoption stage. And what I always say is, if nothing else, try it to get you 85% of the way there on the messaging that you want to create. Does a human still need to look at it? Absolutely, because you need to validate that it's speaking in your voice and also that any facts are correct. And right, we want to do fact checking, but definitely that is one thing that I suggest. So for sequencing, for example, so let's say you have a sequence of communication with your clients that's we're having a webinar. Would you like to come? Here's the invitation. Create and craft all of the messaging first on an AI platform, then review it, check that you like it, edit it, and then have that go out. And then what's the next communication? Maybe it's a reminder. Maybe it's another invitation to those who haven't signed up. Maybe there's a follow-up after the webinar that provides a free resource or an opportunity to book a call, something like that has a call to action. Absolutely use AI to help you come up with the best ways to format that, because some humans are great at writing, others are not so great at writing. We're better at maybe talking or having that conversation with the client and not so much with the written part.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you think that AI is taking over coaching? Does that worry you?
I mean, that's a really good, because I'm in the coaching space, of course, and I'm surrounded by coaches. And what I want to say is I believe it's augmenting. So, both for leaders and for coaches, there are a lot of resources out there that can help you think through, for example, strategy and be a bit of a sounding board when maybe your coach is not available. And then when you come to the coaching session, the coach can do things that an AI can't, right? Like empathize, and maybe there's some exploring of emotions that you can do with a coach that you wouldn't really get from AI, but AI can for sure help you think through, because if you ask it to, it will ask you questions.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
as you're writing, if that is how you process information well, then you'll kind of sort through your thoughts, which can be super helpful to get clear once you come to a coaching session with a coach.
Very cool. What do leaders need the human element for then?
Yeah, it definitely is that empathy and also feeling seen.
Mm.
So, sure, AI is, usually very agreeable. I don't know if you've all know if you've noticed that anything you type into
Great job.
ChatGPT, yeah, it's going to say that's a great idea, Carrie, and you'll be like, "Oh, good," and patting yourself on the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yet, you may need somebody to not only challenge you, but having AI say, "Hey, great job," is different than having another human say, "I really like what you did there, and here's why."
Love it.
And that's where the feedback gets personalized, but also we need to be challenged. We need to be told, like, I think you have some great ideas, but I think you're missing the human element of your team. You told me last week that you were struggling with somebody who's resistant to change. When you make this change, how are you going to support that individual? And that's what AI can't do.
Love it. Well, so let me ask you this. How do you use AI in your coaching practice? Or do you? I'm assuming you do.
I do. I mean, I do it in my business for sure. Same thing, example I gave earlier about the sequencing. I have, for example, a free resource that I offer for people to kind of get organized in how they want to delegate certain tasks, whether it be administrative or marketing or whatever it is. And some people struggle with how to articulate their expectations. And so this helps to do that. Well, I used AI to help me come up with a bit of an email sequence to also follow up after they've downloaded that and say, like, "Hey, how's it going? And have you considered this?" And just because writing is not my first best skill, right? So, I mean, talking comes a little more naturally to me, and
Yeah.
building relationships is something that I think I'm pretty good at, but writing is not something I'm as strong in. So I like the first draft to be something that I use AI for. And also the fact that it can do all of the sequence at once, right? Whereas my brain won't always think that far ahead. Then once I have a draft, it's super easy to edit it and say, that doesn't fit. I'm going to fix that. Or I love that. That's amazing. And then you just kind of roll with some of it. So, yeah.
Awesome. So the quintessential suits and sneakers question. What advice would you give to your younger self about how to think of AI to support you as a leader?
Oh, wow, you twisted the question. I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. When I first got into leadership, I was in a company that was really breaking new ground on the internet. And they were collecting market research real time and giving real time reports. And that was something that was not really done in market research. It was more of like, take it away and compile it. And so even that felt innovative to me. So thinking about AI, if I could tell my younger self something, it would be that technology is here to help humans with the things that we are not as good at. We're really good at the emotional stuff and connection. Logical sequences, yes, brains are amazing, but computers are better at all of that stuff, right? Computers are better at calculating things quickly and a lot at a time. And also being time effective, because even the most task oriented human being will never be 100% utilizing their day. There are minutes that are lost, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We shouldn't make ourselves bad for not being 100% efficient, but instead we should use technology to help us regain those minutes, actually. So the thing that I think is a little scary right now is that people's expectations with AI is that we're all going to do more faster, 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 faster. And instead, what if we framed it as, let's let AI go do all those repetitive things so that we can take a step back and have some thinking time to do creative work?
Love
Yeah.
it. Okay, bonus question.
Okay.
Buckle up. So AI just invented a time machine. I'm making this up.
Okay.
And and you get to go into the future and drop some wisdom to your future self.
Mm.
What would that wisdom be?
Oh, wow. Time machine to my future self. I mean, it's interesting because I wouldn't say I'm always an early adopter, but with AI, I feel like I'm kind of being I'm being innovative and open to it. So I would say though, make time for more. Like learn it, learn it. That would be the wisdom, is like learn everything you can about how it works now, because now is the foundation for the future. And it's just going to keep evolving and changing. And I think if you understand where it came from, it's going to be easier to understand in the future where it's going and how it's evolved, because it's going to keep evolving. It's going to evolve extremely quickly.
It
And
has been.
yeah, yeah.
But what gift are you giving your future self today
Oh,
that you get to use in the future?
I need to keep learning and stay current with it so that I don't fall behind when I get older. I guess
I
that's what I would say.
love it.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie, this is it. This is the last question.
Okay.
What are you working on right now? Like what's going on? What do you want your listeners to know about the cool stuff that Carrie Tuttle is doing and Team Mojo?
Well, the teams that I focus on right now are sales and marketing teams. And so typically those are separate, not always. But even within a team, I find that the communication can be quite fractured. And marketing, of course, their job is it's like they're inviting everybody to the party, right? They're attracting them to want to come to the party. And then sales is the one who greets them at the door and helps them have a good time at the party. And the party is our business or our service or our product, right? So you would think they would communicate very well together. In practice, what I see is that marketing has some ideas about how to attract the ideal client. And sometimes they're speaking a different language to that ideal client than sales is. And sales is the one who's having the conversation day to day. So both need to consult each other, because if someone gets an invite to a party and it has a different description of what they're going to experience than what they actually get when they get there, it's going to be a disappointing experience.
Yeah.
And they're going to be confused, if nothing else. It may not be a bad experience, but they may be confused. And so I work with teams on aligning them so that, first of all, they're both speaking the same language to the same people. And then also with leadership, looking at how to incent those teams so that they're measured on similar or things that flow through to each other, rather than having metrics that don't match, because it's often like the marketing team is incented on clicks and the number of followers and things like that, but those aren't necessarily the same as the behaviors that create sales.
Right.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, this has been so much fun. Looking forward to the next one we get to do together. Carrie Tuttle, Team Mojo, Suits and Sneakers hostess extraordinaire and killer leader. Thanks so much for being on your show.
Oh, thanks, Michael. And I do want to say that, for Suits and Sneakers, Leadership Unfiltered, the reason we call it that is we want to talk about stories that really help people who are getting into leadership to understand what's going to happen when I actually get in the real world. It's not the textbook stuff. It's not the stuff you read in a book. So I am always looking for guests. I am always looking for stories. Even if you don't want to be a guest, but you have a really crazy story to share, please do share it. I turn those into questions to try and stump future guests, or maybe myself, because this might happen again.
Amazing.
So please do share. There's a link in the show notes for becoming a guest as well. Thank you so much. We're glad you joined us for Suits and Sneakers. If you want to be an expert guest, look for the link in the show notes. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to be notified of future episodes.